So let's continue with the subject of the distinguishing of the subjects of meditation. And we've just gone up to the 10 recollections, the recollection of the Buddha, recollection of the law, the Dhamma. It's not only meaning the Buddha's teaching, but just the recollection of spiritual laws. People who can do this without knowing anything about the Buddha's teachings. Recollection of the community of bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. Recollection of, and the lay, it's a fourfold community, bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, and the lay men and the lay women, so it's very important. So, recollection of virtue, recollection of generosity and open-mindedness, liberality, chaga, and then recollection of deities. Is there any questions you'd like to ask about that?
I have a question.
Have you? That's a surprise. Yeah, go ahead, yes, please.
Okay, so last week I was trying to do meditation on the recollection of the good qualities. So I can do it for the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, bhikkhus, bhikkhunis, arahants. But when I get to the recollection of the devas, I get the stumbling block because I have a Catholic upbringing. And the good qualities of the devas are very similar to the good qualities of angels and saints. You know, they're like supernatural, higher beings, lower than God, and their function is to help, assist, guide, protect human beings who are on their way, you know, like back to God. So, and my grandmother would always tell me, oh, you should always pray to your guardian angel. Ask for intercession, you know, ask for help. If you're going to go home late, you have an exam in school, you want a good grade, good job, good boyfriend, you know, you ask for these prayers from angels and saints. So what is the correct way to do the meditation on recollection of the good qualities of the devas without falling into like the habit that I have of asking for help or even worshipping them?
Does anyone else got anything before I answer that? Either? Okay. Well, firstly, if you want to check the state of mind, and if it's sort of helpless craving for help like this, then it's kind of fear-driven and desire-driven. So the absence of all of the hindrances, including fear and desire, so any sort of wishing, so like this. And to do that, jhanic technique, so for example, if you take a light kasina, this is a very good one for recollection of devas as well, and also to consider that that you get to a state of mind where you're radiating, what you've created is also radiating. So it's almost like you try to make the mind come on a par with devas, rather than sort of like, help, I'm down here and you can help me and come and rescue me and save me. So it's more like a sort of salvation, desperate sort of wishing for salvation like this. So by practice, one is you can do is practice the kasinas in order to get your mind ready like that. If you go through the heavier kasinas, like the earth, fire, water ones, and then go through the colour ones, and then when you use a light kasina, which is equivalent like a chakra, crown chakra, and that's suitable. But how to get there? The metta, 10 directions of metta, also prepares you for this kind of realm like that. Knowing that this is the path is one of the ways to recall just the existence of devas and the possibility of deva rebirth as well. The Buddha chastised Sariputta, told him off for teaching someone the way to the devas like that, when he could have taught him path to Nibbana. But he taught him the 10 directions with metta. So, for example, I was going to say when I was in Sri Lanka, and when I was in England actually, I would focus my attention onto guardian devas of each of the different countries I was likely to go to, including the Philippines as well. But to consider there would be over very high devas. There's nothing wrong with asking them for protection and to sort of like wish them well as well, or wish to extend out your love to them. But wishing to them, sort of like help like this, that kind of thinking is also just not likely to go into help. It's better to also be mudita, the sympathetic joy with them, to think about getting your mind on a frequency of sympathetic joy. Yeah, so that all the practicing that's going on, thanking, making like gratitude and thanks for all things that are going well as well in your life, and blessings that you've got also. This is another aspect of it, like that. Recognizing the beauty. Also, the Devadutta Sutta. In the Devadutta Sutta, there are 4 divine messengers. The first type of divine messenger is a helpless child. If you see the powerlessness of the divinity of children, this is also a part of you recognize it. You have people go, like they're also grumpily getting on with their adult life like that. If the mind is awake enough, you see children, that they are very angelic and divine already. So recognizing the divine quality and actually what already is, this is an aspect of it. And also in elderly people, very elderly and they're powerless, you see the divine nature in this sort of powerlessness, which is very different with the kind of ego, worldly ego, and sort of strong independence and everything. This interconnectedness of love and life and unity is very much tunes into the meaning of this. The other ones are ill person. Just by seeing ill person, it can stimulate compassion as well. And the other one is people who are arrested for jail. It's a bit like the 4 sights that propelled the Buddha to seek the higher life. So the first, these are called the divine messengers as well. So it's not only detached, Deva angels as well. It's like that. It's recollection of the divine nature as well. So it's quite a different meaning than trying to get in contact with sort of alien-like beings with wings and so on. But simply through connection with children and elderly people and the sick and criminals, to recognise that there can be enough to direct our mind towards that. I see that very much. Certainly on my arms around, I see it a lot. It really occurs to me so much like that. See, the nature of children is like angelic, and the nature of elderly people as well. It's the way they are in life. Having recently come from birth, soon to go to death. Yeah? Those are some help. Mindfulness of death, mindfulness of the body, and that's the 32 parts of the body. So that's much more anatomical and helps with realising of non-self through a kind of gross way, not quite so subtle way as doing Vipassana, but just the nails, like you're talking about, and the teeth and the hair. It's much more basic. Even like Samaneras who were 7 years old were enlightened on this when they were told this was a meditation, just the nature of teeth and the nature of hair. Nature of skin, body hair, and nails. Just by repeating those 5 over and over again.
That's something you wrote on Facebook.
Yeah. So just that it can be enough to stimulate the higher mind if a person's right. So it's just the recollection of the body, mindfulness of breathing, Anapanasati. The recollection of peace. These are funny words, but it's kind of anapana. Upasamana-nusati. It's not. I haven't seen that ever specified, but it's just a recollection of peace. I think it's just like to calm yourself down, to be aware. That's all. Then the 4 immeasurable thoughts. 4 immeasurable thoughts. Loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. So these are already divine states. Loving kindness. So I've also seen this to the extent that one teacher I had, Bhante Puniji, he teaches them that they're the same state of mind with you see different dimensions into different people's lives. So you first befriend someone, just very basic, just what's your name, who are you, where are you from, you get to know them, and after a while you get to see their pain. People never say, hi, I've got HIV, how you doing? Well, come back, people gradually, that you see the depth of reality in them, this normality, after a while you say, hey, I'm great, I'm sort of fine, yeah, but then after a while they get a cold or a flu, and then the depth there starts to deepen within your own heart. First of all, you love people, and then secondly, you get to serve them through compassion and relate to them in a more real and demanding kind of way. And there mustn't be any jealousy in there. So this state of joy at their success starts to expand the mind out even more. And then equanimity means that you're going to be able to see all things without exception, all things without any exception, totally unruffled by anything. You see that person vomiting, or you have to clean up their feces, or you see them age or lose or go through a difficult time, and you can stay with them with faithfulness. So I thought that's good. You normally see them sort of as four different things, four different sort of spheres, something like that. That's kind of a very mature view of that. So these are four immeasurable thoughts. And then the determining of the elements, which is to know in your body that hardness is there and why. So the fact that we've got hardness in our body is the main reason we've got a skeleton. It's the main reason that we've got something that's like as heavy as this chair nearly, and it's pressing down, and it's within a kind of like a rubber wetsuit of skin. So it's just the two things put together creates that the earth element, creating support and hardness. Temperature's there, because there's food being digested all the time, the heart's beating away, the warm blood, and you've got all of the different elements turning there. Breath is going in and out, air element is there, and then all the different liquids put together. So these four joined together create the physical body. So doing that analytical observation into the body systematically, repeatedly like that. And there's ways of doing it like with the 32 elements, where you look through one by one the different liquids, you just identify them one by one, the wax in the ear, the tear, or the waters around the eye, and one by one. And again, this is systematic, can be a way to dispassion the mind, and also to be impersonal to the experience, to be able to go through it and see yourself. So this is also disables the ego a lot in that way. The perception of the foulness of food. It's not that all food is always foul or something like that. It's not that. It's that if you have a food, if you didn't eat it and just left it, it would rot. So that's the natural nature of it with time. If you did crunch it up in your mouth and then spat it back out again, that's what it looks like inside. And then all the things, you studied a lot about diet and digestion, so all the things like all the hydrochloric acid in the gut, or all the things of the digestion that it goes through. When you look at it closely, I mean, you can learn about it, but it's pretty horrible. The more you learn about it, it doesn't get any nicer. It just stays at the same place. But people who never do that, for them, food is just this brilliantly bright-coloured, tasty thing that you just whoomph in your mouth and then you just rush off and watch TV. It's just sort of people never look into it very deeply. But being able to get dispassionate about it. Food is one of the main addictions for people, like the brightness and the lovely. People are very, very passionate about food. And therefore often they're blind to the realness of the food. It can be very toxic, it can be full of carcinogens, it can be unhealthy food, but they just love the look of it. So they just want to dive in, it's fried, it's got sugar all over it, it's just great, like they just woof. And they don't really, they're blind at that time to that it might be dangerous. It might be dangerous for them. Or like alcohol. There you've seen a great big fizzy, frosted glass photo. You just want to drink 8 of them. The next thing you know, you're vomiting, or So the perception of the foulness of food helps people to be passionate and objective about the pleasure of the tongue. The sphere of nothingness we do a lot with when we do the removing Kasina and observing around the 10 points of the compass on the horizon. And then the perception of the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception is very closely aligned to that, where perception itself of objects gets incredibly subtle in that objects cease to have much meaning to them. something like what's that phrase? Nothing really matters. This kind of sums it up. Someone's walking around, or they've been in a state like that, exactly. Goes towards that kind of frame of mind where nothing really matters. A bus could come right towards them and they would be quite content because nothing really matters. So there's a sense of very, very subtle. Whereas normally things really matter. You sort of come back with my thing because it really matters. Well, if you're in that state of mind, it wouldn't. Some would take even parts of your body and so on. Is that extreme state of detachment has been attained and stays while that state is in it. And going up through the kasinas, and especially the top two that I talk about, the horizon one, and then contemplating the mind that's contemplating gets up into this. Like that. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it's a state of blackout, or some people are teaching like heart-stopping blackout, kind of death state or something. I personally don't believe that's what's the meaning of that. Alright, so moving on then. The method of discerning the qualities.
The qualities of what?
Alright, so we're going to find out. Oh, you're going to love this next bit as well.
Police?
You're going to love this next bit because they're also slightly abstract terms as well. Wait a minute. So first of all, anyway, it's going to method discern the qualities. Be patient because it will go through them one by one, explain them. If they were self-explanatory, you wouldn't have to go through them afterwards and sort of like tease them out and open them out. And also, I wasn't sure they've given me the Pali doesn't exist anymore. This is one of the things. The Vimutti-Magga was translated into Pali and went down into Sri Lanka and was destroyed and lost. Many whole libraries were set on fire by I think Portuguese did a lot of it, but also Tamil people done a lot of that as well. But the version that survived went up into China and was translated into Chinese. So this version was translated from the Chinese. Not even from that. So, but just some of the footnotes have survived, or they've taken them from the Visuddhimagga, which is sort of fairly identical. So, method of discerning the qualities. Wait for it. So if I know it. These are the 38 subjects of meditation. The distinctive qualities of these 38 subjects of meditation may be known. One, by way of meditation. So you actually do the meditation and experience it. Let me see what they say without anticipating it first. One, by way of meditation. Two, by way of transcending. Three, by way of increasing. Increasing. By what transcends, by what increases, by way of the cause, by way of the object. You'll have to wait because it is a little bit buried. Unless you already know these Pali terms, it's quite difficult to know. One is by way of increasing. So transcending is that you go up through the 31 planes and down. Yeah? So then, by way of, and what you transcend, like you transcend lust and hate and anger, so therefore you get metta and loving kindness. By way of increasing, 4, by way of cause, so you actually make the object, and that's what causes it, presumably. And by way of object is the same thing. So when you take a Kasina object, the quality arises because of taking a Kasina object. By way of speciality, not sure about. 7, by way of plane, this is the same as the planes of 31 planes. 8, by way of seizing, and 9, by way of person. Just see what they say because it's quite abstract. Seizing. Yeah. Okay. By way of seizing. And 9 by way of person. So what does it mean? So the first one was by way of meditation. Question, how by way of meditation? Answer, namely, 10 subjects of meditation, full access meditation. So it means using the 10 kasinas. That's how. That's by way of meditation. What was that? What? By way of footsie. 11 subjects of meditation fulfill the first meditation. It means if you want to get first jhana, how? The first 11 kasinas will get you there. 3 subjects of meditation get you to the third jhana. And again, 1 subject of meditation gets you to the fourth jhana. 9 subjects of meditation get you to the 4th jhana and 5th jhana. And again, 4 subjects of meditation get you to the 4 formless meditations. then it explains those. So this is useful if you want to know how to attain first jhana and which meditations will do what. Or what's the highest system. Like if you're doing it on the corpse meditation, you can only get to first jhana because it involves thinking and looking and observing. It's not like looking at an abstract sphere in your mind. You're quite busy. Like look at the worms, or your mind's still quite busy. Question: which 10 subjects of meditation fulfill access meditation? It means you're starting to get close to getting towards jhana. Answer: accepting mindfulness of breathing and mindfulness of the body. The remaining 8 recollections, so the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and the generosity and the deities, and what's that one? Virtues. Those are 6, and then the other 2, can't remember. The determining of the 4 elements and the perception of the foulness of food are called the 10 objects of access meditation. You just begin to get there. You can't go any deeper though yet. So you can switch. Question: which of the 11 subjects of meditation produce the first jhana? Answer: 10 perceptions of putrescence and mindfulness of body produce the first jhana. So even doing Satipatthana first, or 32 parts of the body, you can get first jhana doing. So some people talk about blacking out and heart stopping on the first jhana or something. I found out somewhere. And obviously, according to this, they're not talking about anything like that depth of concentration. Question: 3 subjects of meditation. Which 3 subjects of meditation produce third jhana? Answer: loving kindness, compassion, and appreciative joy. So it's still the joy is still there, happiness is still there, but no deeper. Question: which subject of meditation produces 4th jhana? Answer: equanimity. So all thinking and everything. So this is why when you're doing a meditation, visualizing a sphere, for example, and you enter into it and stop in the center of it in some way, and there's no thinking, and you're not separate from an object, and you're not thinking or changing the object, you're just staying in the center, like the 4 cardinal points, and up and down. The mind stays very still. That's equanimity, without any emotional buzz or high, just very, very still. Equanimity. Question: which 9 subjects of meditation comprise the 4-fold and 5-fold meditations? Remember that. Jietuo, Pañña. They're talking about 5th jhana. Yeah, 4th jhana and 5th jhana can be attained. Answer: accepting space kasina and consciousness kasina, the remaining 8 kasinas, and mindfulness of respiration. So using all the kasinas and mindfulness, you can get 4th jhana and 5th jhana. Question: which 4 subjects of meditation comprise the 4 formless meditations, formless jhanas? Answer: space kasina, consciousness kasina, the sphere of nothingness, the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. These are called the 4 subjects of meditation. Thus, these should be known by way of meditation. So it's all about what you can get from which, to what degree of jhana you can get from which meditation. Some are more powerful than others, some are more deep than others, some take more practice than others. So next bit, by way of transcending. So question: how by way of transcending? So let's try to see what they mean. Answer: the sphere subjects of meditation transcend form. So kasina is a form, but it's the way to reach formlessness. So once you still the mind enough using a kasina, and then you take the cardinal points and consider the whole area around, then you remove it, formless. Form is rupa, so the object is rupa. Formless, remove it, and then only concentrating on that. And then, like, if you are considering the immediate area around you, so it's somewhat, it has form. But then if you remove it and consider deep all the way to the horizon, deep space and deep infinity of perspective, and also up and down, or right way down to the centre of the earth, right way up, like you get those special effects on a movie where there's a cliff, someone's standing on the cliff, woo, they look down, you see right the way down, the way the perspective goes right the way down, and all the way, like a runway, as if there was a runway there, there's just this wall in front of it, and you can see the runway that goes right way to the horizon, or sort of telegraph wires that go right to the horizon in every different direction. And by considering that that's always there, and then even beyond the horizon, off into space as well, like this. That's the. This is what this means. The sphere of subjects transcending form, accepting the formless Kasina, the remaining 8 Kasinas, and what remain of the 30 subjects of meditation do not transcend form. So you can't get the arupa jhanas. 3 subjects of meditation transcends the object. This is like transcending the object, where you use the object to actually get to a state where you don't even need the object anymore. 3 subjects of meditation transcend the object. The 2 formless Kasinas and the sphere of nothingness. And the sphere of nothingness, I suppose where it is, where you contemplate the mind that was looking on the object. So you get very aware of these concepts, they're conceptual dots and things like that, but then you also contemplate the mind that was knowing that. You realise that it's a conceptual frame that you're imagining, but then you realise there's a difference between the imagination and the mind that's looking at it, and you realise by then the mind that's observing and is imagining is itself very, very clear and still by then, and by contemplating that. Are we okay? Alright, that's like, right, more or less? Losing you?
Formless.
Formless. Alright.
Yeah, I get tripped up by these 32 this, 10 that, 9 those, 5 goes, and it's
Well, sometimes you have to hear it quite a few times to make it familiar, just part of it.
Don't worry, there's going to come a time, the 32, formless.
Well, some of the things other things that we do, they fit into a big pattern. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. But some familiarity with it is good. It's like when you guys talk about Manila, I say, over there. I'm also sort of building up a big map of fairly unfamiliar, but it'll come slowly, So
through repetition, it's going to happen. I'm not there yet. That's what I'm aware of. But I know that if I just keep listening, somehow something's going to sink in, and when it reaches a tipping point, it'll just, okay, now I get it.
And doing something like this, like once in a while. You don't have to do this all day. No, once in a while to do this is good breeding, and then get back to your regular stuff. Very few people can do this. This is why we have to do it. It's very good to do this in a very disciplined, systematic reading, because it's not sort of cosmopolitan magazine. It's not breezy. It's easily going. It is dry.
I'm so happy if you do it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's suffering.
Yeah. So 3 subjects of meditation transcend the object, so the actual object that they look at. The 2 formless Kasinas and the sphere of nothingness. They actually get above the thing that they're looking at that you start off with. The other 35 subjects of meditation do not transcend the object. If you're thinking of any of those other things, you stay with what you've got. You don't go any further than that. And again, 1 subject of meditation transcends perception and sensation, namely the sphere of neither perception nor non-perception. Notice it says transcends, doesn't say that it makes it go into actual stopping. So it transcends sensation by making it go very, very subtle, and it transcends perception by the thinking. Thinking actually stops when you go into that state. So it's not a type of thinking, it's a type of walking around with a very, very empty mind, just observing as if things are like a movie, and very, very, very clear and completely free of all concern about them. The other 37 subjects of meditation do not transcend perception and sensation. So you're looking at a corpse and it shocks you, but if you were in that state, you saw a corpse and it wouldn't bother you in the slightest. So how much engagement is there, and how much thinking and feeling is there as well. So these should be known by way of transcending. So how much do those meditations make you go into higher and higher and purer and purer states. But again, they're all still only going up and down the 31 planes of existence. They're not going up the Vipassana path. This is the concentration group that we're dealing with, not the wisdom group. So we'll do that next. We'll stop here for the concentration group. So this is isolatedly just looking at the samatha concentration types of meditation for increasing jhanic types of meditation that ascend up and down the 31 planes of existence, and how to get to the very top ones and down again. But in all the ways, this is calming meditations, allied by insight, by wisdom, gives it the extra strength of power to be able to go to the top of the vipassana. Otherwise, these temporarily suppress problems, and you can get very, very up into these high states of mind with your mind full of peace and light, and then come back afterwards and all your unfinished business of your heart and body and mind comes back again, and all the same sort of problems doesn't move down. So it is a holiday and a holiday for the brain. It's a great rest. If people are used to sort of like crunching, thinking and feeling and struggle and so on, and they get some of these states of mind, they can't believe how suddenly refreshed and happy they feel, and genuinely happy. Some people are always burdened by conflict and maybe an unhappy childhood or anything like that. When they attain some of these, they suddenly feel like happy. I've never been so happy, but it will come down. And again, by taking any one of those sort of objects, you can go up to various levels temporarily. But the Buddha did recommend them allied to insight, because it's a pleasing and happy way to be. And harmless as well, harmless. Okay, so we're going to go on to the wisdom section next. We're going to time out, or we can